If you haven't had a chance to create your 2026 vision board, don't stress, we can create one together. So the first thing that I would focus on is gathering my materials. So for me, I really like these sturdy, durable foam boards. I like these personally just because for me, I put these against my wall in my room and I just kind of prop it up. And then in the mornings, I would like do my EFT tapping. I would visualize, really set the intention, and really just get my head in a really good place. So that's kind of how I would start my mornings. But do whatever works for you. If you wanted to get like one of those more flexible poster boards and put it in a really nice frame, kind of jazz it up a little bit, that could also be an option. There's so much creative variability behind it, which is a lot of fun. And do whatever you think is going to be the best for you in terms of the next year. Another thing that I got was just some glue sticks, super cheap from like Target. Another asset that is needed for this, and then some scissors. I don't have mine with me, but I'll grab those in a second. And then I would start going in and planning my photos. So for me, I start to think through what are some of the core pillars that I really want to focus on in the new year. So for example, I was thinking, okay, I want to do like career and business, relationships, friendships, health and wellness, prosperity, abundance. And those would be like my main focus. And then I would start to grab pictures of inspiration, whether that's from Pinterest or one of those vision board books, magazines, whatever you like to work with. And then as I start to kind of organize around some of those different topics, I'll put those different pictures in there. And then I'll kind of see what fits the aesthetic and kind of blends well together on that vision board. So that's kind of how I would kind of get that part started. And then there's a couple different ways that you can do it. So last year I printed out my pictures physically in color, and I just kind of did some things like this. So I did them pretty small, but I was allowed to be able to add in more pictures and have more like topics and visuals on there. But this year, I actually did something a little bit different. My friend and I, we did our vision boards last year, and she actually developed photos, which I thought was a really cool and fun idea. So I decided to implement that this year. And I just got these photos developed from like CVS. They were super cheap. You can also do like Walgreens or whatever local photo developing store that you might have nearby. And then I would just grab my photos. I would start to assemble them on my boards just kind of based off of those topics that I mentioned earlier of whatever you decided on. And then I would organize them on there, and then I would start to glue them on. I've even seen people like Mod Podge their boards before, so if you want like a more seamless, fun look, that could also be something cool, another creative outlet for you. And then as you're done, kind of assembling this board, then another thing that you can also do too is you can also create a visual digital board. So I've actually done this before in the past. I've done it all the previous years where basically I just take like a consolidated form of pictures and I create it on Canva, like on some sort of template, or if you wanted to do any other sort of like a creative designer app that you want to use. And then for me, what I did is I kind of just assembled those, and then I would be able to upload that as wallpaper on my computer or on my phone. Because we look at our computers and our phones so much during the day, it's kind of like an extra exposure to some of those visuals that you wouldn't see with your physical vision board if you didn't carry it with you 24/7. So that is something that you can really like utilize some of those pictures and then really just get that ingrained into your mind. So those are some of the different techniques and tips. I've also seen people make mind movies before where you can use like different apps to really like edit some of those pictures together and then watch those movies on a loop. So another cool thing, I haven't tried that personally yet, but maybe I'll try that this year. And then I will just make like a little quick video of a part 2 of me like assembling my vision board. So stay tuned for that.